You know what's really exhausting? Explaining your feelings to someone who's already decided that they don't believe you. And I used to think that if I had explained myself better, if I used better words, better tone, if I expressed what I wanted to say better, that they would finally see me. And then it hit me. They heard me. They just didn't like what I had to say. And I realized at that point that I wasn't in a conversation. It was like I was in a courtroom having to defend my reality to someone who benefited from me doubting it. And that's when everything changed because misunderstanding isn't always confusion. And sometimes it's actually considered strategy. And once you see that, you can't unsee that. So stay with me because today we're going to unpack something that will change how you handle conflict in relationships, in friendships, in life, and the conflict that you might be facing within yourself. Hey, friend, it's Jasmine, and welcome to The Unfiltered Flow. Today, we're talking about outgrowing the need to be understood. Not because communication doesn't matter, guys. It's because the over explaining yourself to the wrong person will cost you your peace. And most of us don't realize that we're paying a price that is really high. Let me start here. Over explaining doesn't come from ego, it usually comes from anxiety. It comes from wanting connection, from wanting resolution, from wanting to be seen as fair and balanced and mature, especially as women, right? Especially if you've grown up feeling misunderstood or if you've ever been told that you are too much. Because what do we tend to do? We overcompensate, we soften, we find the need to clarify what we're expressing, we disclaim, we pre apologize. And I'm Canadian. We apologize a lot because somewhere along the way, we've learned that if I explain it perfectly, I'll be safe. But safety is built on performance, and performance is fragile. And that's the part that we don't talk about. Think about the last time that you've over explained something and your voice probably stayed calm, but what was your body doing? Did you feel tightness in your jaw? Did you feel your heart racing? Were you replaying the conversation in your head for hours? Because I've done that. I've done that so many times. That's the nervous system trying to secure safety. When someone challenges your reality repeatedly, your body interprets that as a threat. And when you stay in a dynamic too long, you start questioning yourself. That's how trust erodes. It's not dramatic. It's actually very quiet. One it's one maybe I overreacted at a time. Here's where it gets deeper. When someone constantly reframes your feelings, corrects your interpretation, or tells you what you meant, that's not miscommunication, that's control. And it's not always done maliciously, but it does have a sense of power in it because if I can convince you that your perception is wrong, I don't have to change. And if you start doubting yourself, I stay comfortable. That's why clarity doesn't fix it because the issue isn't clarity, it's accountability. The shift for me wasn't loud, it wasn't intense, it was very quiet. And I stopped trying to manage how I was perceived. I said what I meant once. That was done calmly. Curious people lean in, defensive people push back. The difference tells you everything. And this is where the growth really happened. I realized I was trying to earn understanding as if being understood was a reward for good behavior. It's not. Healthy relationships don't require an audition. And this is the only place I'm going to say this. If someone chooses to misunderstand you after you've spoken clearly, let them. It's my favorite word. It's my favorite 2 words. Let them. I actually have it tattooed on my arm. Not because you don't care. Let them. Because your peace matters more than you being right. And that was discipline. Not reacting, not over clarifying, not spiraling, just observing and choosing alignment over argument. Let them. This shows up everywhere. In dating, when someone minimizes how something made you feel. Co-parenting, when you explain the same boundary for the 5th time. At work, when you're defending your competence instead of being respected for it. When you are amongst your friends, when someone keeps reframing your experience to avoid responsibility. You don't owe a 5-paragraph breakdown of your humanity to anyone. If someone wants to understand you, they will ask questions. If they don't, no performance is going to change their opinion of you. The real glow up isn't louder communication, it's discernment. It's knowing when the conversation is productive and when it's draining. It's trusting your first explanation is enough. It's not apologizing for having feelings. It's going to bed without replaying the conversations in your head. That's peace. That's regulation. That is self-trust. And here's the part nobody talks about. You can over-explain yourself too. You can argue with your intuition and you can convince yourself that you're being dramatic. You can override your body's signals. And in relationships, that's the most important one. When you stop debating your own perception, you stop abandoning yourself. If this episode moved something in you, don't keep it private. Share it. Please share it. Share it with your friends. Send it to the friend who keeps over explaining. Forward it to your colleagues, the ones who are constantly feeling like they have to defend their competence. Play it for your spouse so that you can have a healthier conversation tonight. Talk about it at dinner. Post it in your stories. Because when we normalize protecting our nervous system instead of performing maturity, we shift culture. And if this resonated, subscribe, leave a review. Let's build a community of regulated, self-trusting adults. And before we close, hey friends, although I'm a lot of things, what I'm not is a doctor, therapist, or a licensed healthcare professional. The information shared on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, based on my own personal research, experiences, and my own journey of growth. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or qualified health provider with any questions regarding a medical condition. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and take care of you. All right. Thank you guys for flowing with me. This is the Unfiltered Flow podcast. Real life, real feelings, real movement on and off the mat. I'll see you next time.